Welcome back. We are the Halloween Horror Events Podcast, where we talk about HHN and some other Halloween horror events, plus some theme park news if it is worthy enough.
Yeah. Follow us on our socials at HHE Podcast and on TikTok at HHE Pod 1. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and give us a great review on the podcast's apps of your choice. Date. Now over to the hosts for another great episode.
Technical difficulties everywhere. Anyway, welcome to the Halloween Horror Events Podcast. This is the March edition, is it? Oh, we have a special guest, I believe. Anyway. Right, okay, so while I was being interrupted with that introduction, you fucking arsehole.
Sorry, did I not tell you, Simon?
No, dickhead. Anyway, this is Halloween Horror Events Podcast. We are here for the March edition, which is going to be the drinks edition. So we're going to talk about what we like at the event, what other people like, what we don't like, how the event has evolved with the drinking culture, and what we generally think. So, I can't do this on my own. I was going to do it with one person. But you can wait till the end now. So It looks like we have got a very special guest. We have the fantastic and fantastically gorgeous Mr. Craig Lucas.
How are you, boys?
Hello,
I just
Craig.
seen that you were recording, and I just thought, you know what? I want to talk Halloween on night.
I wonder why.
I know. And we are bringing cheap plug, a Phill Guard type plug. We are bringing back after dark Halloween adventure at some point. Once the news starts to flow, I think we'll be back.
Yeah. So there you go. We've got a very special guest, and also my partner in crime, who's wearing the stupidest top in the world.
We were
Mr.
awesome
Epic
in this
Phill.
top. For the people who's not watching YouTube, there are 6 of you. I'm wearing a Chelsea top from the early 2000s when we dominated English football. Because now we're shit. But I hope everyone's okay at home.
Yeah, so this episode is going to be mainly about the drinking, not just the culture, but also what we used to like and what they've changed and different things, and just the general drinks of Halloween Horror Nights. So I think Craig's got a drink. I'll tell you what I've got. He's on a Budweiser. I'm just finishing a Peretti, but I've got this one specially just for this show. We want to look on the camera.
Brewdog.
It is a Brewdog Triple Hazy IPA.
Ooh.
It is
Hazy Jane.
It's not. It's a Hazy Jane, but it's a triple Hazy Jane.
Yeah.
9.5% volume.
Oh, rocket fuel.
Craig, that's
Battery
a good point.
acid.
How comes you haven't got a podcast on beers?
Because I'd be dead.
You couldn't do it with Nick because he'd only have a Pepsi Max Cherry.
Cherry Pepsi Max. Pete Abs drinks water. Mr. D would be all right.
Yeah, he likes his gin, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
And
So,
Ryan would be moaning about Disney.
So what should we do? Should we go through what other people said? Our questions?
Do you want to start with the other people and get them out of the way nice and early?
Yeah, because they probably will just want to listen and not listen back. So we put it out on Instagram and Twitter, or X as they call it now for the young kids. Instagram, we only got one comment back, and that was from Theme Park Loopy. He wants to get back on the podcast. By all means, mate, you can always come on, just give us a shout, and we'll sort something out. And he's looking forward to going to Halloween Horror Nights this year, hopefully, he said. So we did get a couple of feedbacks. We've got one from Jacob from Carrie, at HHE_Jacob. He said he's answer to what we put on. What did we actually put on at first? I can't remember.
I put the question, we record a new HHN podcast episode on Thursday. What's the one problem you have with drinking alcohol at Halloween Horror Nights? Could be the price, lack of drinks, drunk people, etc. So I just gave people a few ideas.
Yeah. So we've got a few interactions. So the one we've got is, and this one I completely agree with. I get why they have a rule and it helps prevent underage drinking, but the 1 drink per ID rule, especially when popular houses have 90-minute plus waits. Also, so many times we will be hanging around ready for a refill, It's not put it all on. Sorry, it's been X is being shite on the computer for some reason.
I've got them screenshot if you want me to continue.
Yeah, it's only
That's
showing
9 minutes
that.
away.
I've got it all now. It turns out, what is it? When they want a refill, or either all of us have to get up and get in line, or take turns in order to save our spot at the table or couch. First world problems, I know. Guess it's more of an annoyance than a problem. It's not an annoyance. It's actually a very good point.
One thing, though.
So I don't get the one drink ID rule in the US at all.
Yeah, but I would say the lines for the big houses, though, there is them your little stalls usually halfway through.
Yeah, I understand that as well. But like saying, if you're getting one before you go in and you know it's a 2-hour queue, some of them queues don't actually have them in. So, for example, the Goblin's Feast. Well, Goblin's Feast and the other one, they had it on the outside of the queue, but they didn't have one inside the queue.
Yeah, Express. Actually, that's quite hard.
It would make sense in the queues, if they're going to put drink stalls in the queues, which I'm all for, put toilets in the queues.
Mm.
Yes.
Strategically placed.
Well, there is at the back end of the park, isn't there? Around the back bit, like we said, round towards where Goblin's Feast and all that was last year.
Yeah, but it wasn't in the queue, was it?
No.
I see what Craig's saying. If it's a long 2-hour queue, a few cubicles would be, the blue cubicles would be fantastic.
The stench would be surreal.
Just like the house.
But also, do food, themed food to the queue that you're in.
It's a big stall to do food and drink.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Jacob. That was does make a point with the one drink, one ID.
It is stupid.
It's very old-fashioned that now.
But I get why they do it, because a lot of people go and grab a drink for a youngster, especially Brits, because if we bring 18-year-olds now over in our country, they're all drinking.
Yeah, but like I said, there's that thing that they used to do, which we'll get onto later on in the episode. What we used to do, that seemed to have stopped doing, which was great. But we'll tell. I know the reason why it's not being done now, so we'll get into that when we get there. We've got another one from Josh G1102. It's at Josh G1102.
Classic.
People always complain about the unruly teens at HHN. I've never had problems with teens. The only people I ever had problems with are HHN are adults who can't hold their liquor. Pretty impressive too, since pre-mixed drinks has hardly any alcohol. LOL.
A lot of sugar.
Yeah.
A lot of sugar and a lot of ice.
I think my reply was, agree the pre-mixed drinks are pure sugar or sour, because they're not always so sugary, sometimes they're sour. Extra shots added make a big difference to both your drinks and your wallet. Please drink responsibly. So, yeah, I understand. It's not unruly teens, because obviously teens can't drink at the event. So it is only the adults that are drunk, but are the teens preloading?
The only problem I have with teams at the event is they sprint around everywhere like absolute nut jobs, but that's not down for me to sort out. That's for Universe to sort out, so I don't get that stressed about it.
Yeah, but the drinks wise, I can see. I can't see how people get that drunk at Halloween Horror Nights unless they are preloading.
There you go. This is how I upset our American audience, and you know how I love doing this. That's because they're shandy drinkers in America and can't drink like a real man.
Got a point.
As I'm pouring a 9.5% beer.
Apart from fear and beer, because they drink beers like you. So shout out to them.
Tell you what, right? I mean, I was in Disneyland last week, and in California Adventure, full of IPAs. California is swimming in IPAs, and 7.5%, 8%. That's what I was having for breakfast. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
So
if you can...
Nice. That is nice.
So it's a proper... Doesn't look very appetising when you look at it, but that is a proper hazy IPA. And it's got
your shit will stink tomorrow, mate.
I've just had sprouts in my tea as well.
This is why I miss Craig on podcasts. Just these little one-liners.
That's dangerous. Great, right. That's a dangerous drink.
I have had that before. You do a double hazy Jane as well.
Well,
do a hazy Jane.
I think it's £4.50 a can that Asda at the moment.
It's
4 for 3. It's not a bad price. That 3 of them will be on me. Well, 2 of them will be on my arse. Anyway, we have one more. I don't know why you've gone so bloody big.
There'd be a Mr. Willix who's just been to Tenerife, I believe, right?
Oh, little Craig Willix.
Yeah, he went to my hotel, the K in Columbus. He went to all the bars I go to. If you can't find it, Simon, I've got it screenshotted.
Yeah, I've got it here. It's all right. Okay. I usually try specialty drinks, but often the description sounds better than the actual taste. So when you have had one, you don't feel the need to have another one of the same, especially at the price and very little alcohol in them. Good of them to try though. Like I replied again though, you can get the extra shots in the drinks now, which was a thing that you couldn't do a few years ago, but they did bring it back for last year's event. So if you want a bit of a buzz, it's going to cost you, because I think around $17, $18 for a cocktail with a souvenir glass, and then you got to add another $6 for a shot. So, but yeah, that's all. I think that's all we got back, unless you've got anything from your groups, mate.
Oh, if they did on Facebook's a shithouse right now. Half my notifications don't even come through. I see comments from people like you want to see a cheap plug, Craig, on Epic Phill Travels on my like page, and I don't get a notification. And then I'll go on the page and there'll be like 3 or 4 comments. I'm like, well, where's the notification for that?
Yeah,
too busy kissing the ring, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, that was the feedback we got. So what are your experiences, Craig, with the drinking alcohol at Halloween Horror Nights?
I do like a drink at Halloween Horror Nights.
No shit.
I do like. I love taking a few minutes and going into Moe's Tavern. I've done it numerous times at numerous events. So you're off. You're in the air conditioning. You're off your feet. Last year we sat at the bar, me and Stuart. The barmaid was hilarious. She was a human Simpson cartoon. She literally had virtually no teeth. She was effing and blind and left, right and centre. But she was lovely. She was a really lovely girl. And I think we had 2 or 3 pints, and we had the Oktoberfest. The only thing I'm sad about is it's a huge, massive cash grab. So off the top of my head, I want to say it was $18 for an Oktoberfest, a Duff Oktoberfest, whatever it is. Whereas the normal Duff might have been, I can't remember, $13 or $14.
I think it was advertised at $16.49, and you had your tax, so it was about $18 for a pint. So they are expensive compared to the Duff, regular Duffs, but they are nice. I have actually found a better regular beer there. Don't all do this at once because it's kind of annoying. But Dragon Scale is a beautiful drink over in Diagon Alley.
I'll give that a go, yeah.
It's a nice drink, but the problem is it used to be a nice little bar. No one ever knew about it. It's the one in the corner. You know where Celestina Warbeck does the singing? It's over in the corner hiding. Now it's always
Horror
full,
Nights
everyone
is
knows
packed.
about it.
Yeah, it's packed because of the stupid the Mentals, whatever they're called.
Yeah, but it was empty during the day. But people figured out there's actually a bar there that serves all the alcohol and butterbeer and all the shots. So
I hate butterbeer.
So Phill, you've only had a few years' experience with the drinking side of it, haven't you?
I don't really drink when I'm at Horror Nights because I'm more of a house scare zone person. I like being a people watcher.
Drinking more now.
You keep on buying, I will.
I mean, we had a drink, didn't we, Simon, in the Lombards area, wasn't it? With Craig Willix, with Nick. Who else was with us?
There
was Craig. There was Nick.
I think everyone. I think
there was you.
Steve Wilson had gone by then, I think.
Steve Wilson did most of us, didn't he?
Yeah.
But that was a very quiet, it was almost a hidden drinking area. It was very dark, wasn't it? And the bar was more or less empty.
Yeah, well, it was where the Peacock Bar was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, where they did that stupid bloke.
Yeah, they did. It was always a nice little quiet area. Then they put the Peacock Bar there, and they had, I think they had special actors and that there, and it kind of got overrun. But last year it was nice because it was nice and quiet, and the drinks were made on site rather than actually being pre-mixed. That's what I enjoyed about them drinks there. I don't know if you noticed that. The syrup was in the thing, but the actual shots were poured in.
Talk about bars. Well, I think they mucked up the Halloween bar, the HHN bar, the one right down across the lake, because they didn't really have any seating area there. It just didn't work for me, that one. It would have been a great place because they put all the scare actors to do the photos, but I think that would actually, now thinking about it, would have been better as an area for people to sit.
Well, they usually have something there anyway. Usually you have a bar or the food there anyway. So
yeah, but what I'm saying, because of if you want to drink just to chill, I felt like that area was spoilt because the scare actors, hardly anyone was doing it after the first few weeks because it was the same scare actors all the time, and people just literally walked past, looked at them, smiled at them, waved at them, and walked on. It would have, I think, this year be better just to put a few tables there.
Yeah, well, I think they just want you to get your drink and go, so you can go to the next one and buy your next drink. Anything else, Craig, that you can think of that do you reckon you can improve anything that they're doing?
Well, I think they're missing. I mean, I understand why they're missing a trick because people do want to get off and go, but it would be nice to have, in Blackpool where they have the reactions bar, where whatever the horror place is.
Yeah, it's actually called the horror bar.
And people come spewing out.
Terror.
They've had all the scares and they come spewing out, screaming into a packed bar of people just casually sitting there having a drink. If they could figure something out like that.
We had this chat on the phone this week.
It would just be overran, wouldn't it? It would be a lovely idea.
The thing. The logistics of that is you need some. You could have it as a
booked bar
reservation system.
Yeah,
that's the only way I think you could do it. Reserve a seat for maybe half an hour, and then you're out.
Yeah. Like the one at Star Wars. Houses. You mean like the Star Wars one? Galaxy
Edge. Let's do a seating reservation because the thing is with that horror bar, it's not always open. So sometimes you get thrown out of the Pastel del Terra. Because I'm not going to do the spoilers on it because they do actually not to spoil it. So you've got to run through that door. There's no other way. You have to run through the door. And as you run through the door flies open and you're screaming. And that's what makes it funny because people are terrified because of what's just happened behind the door.
Yeah.
And if they had that at Halloween Horror Nights and you just had people in the bar watching you having a drink, it does make it feel, because you feel embarrassed as well.
Can I do
it could be like the slaughtered lamb or something like that.
Can I do a Craig? Why can't it be, Craig likes spending money, why can't it be a added on price that you have to go in there?
It could be, that's what I'm saying. If you buy a reservation, do a paid reservation, it includes one drink, you're there for 25 minutes. That's more than enough time.
Yeah, one free cocktail beer, and then you can buy your other drinks after.
Yeah. But it needs to be a biggish area, but not too big.
You know the thing past Ghostbusters, that building there, where they sometimes do their warehouse thing? They do the Fiend bar and do the food in there. I don't understand why that's not used for that. Because it's right out the way. Yeah, but the whole event, so people can actually use it because it's out the way.
It's used for the RIP and VIP tours.
Well, tell the RIP to pee off. There's only a few. We'll make you more money. Well, Craig.
No, you'd be surprised, mate. That's where they have the breaks for the drinks and the snacks. That whole hallway is all opened up. Technically, I will be going to it twice. I've just actually purchased my Orlando Informer meetup for June.
Boom.
No, I'm going for 2 nights, not one.
Nice.
What park's it in? Islands of Adventure?
Islands and Universal.
Oh, it's doing both. Oh, that's brilliant.
It's both parks. Nice. 2 nights.
Mate, don't eat that day because all the food's in there as well.
Well, the thing is, I know this is what we do. We go off tangent anyway. I was going to get just the Saturday night because I'm doing Epic on Friday. I'm staying at Helios on Thursday.
Wow.
I'm supposed to be going Epic on Thursday and Friday. But then they did the early bird price for the 2 nights. $401 plus tax for the 2 nights. I thought,
I'll tell you what,
and it's $250 for the 1 night. I'm like, I'll just do 2 nights because what we'll do then is we'll get up nice and early on Friday, do the what we haven't done at Epic Universe on that Friday, go back to the hotel at the Helios, go take the car back to where we're staying, get changed, get cleaned up, have a lie down, and then go to Orlando Informer meetup at round about 7-8 o'clock till 2 in the morning.
Craig, that is a whole episode of Universal After Dark there.
Oh, it's yeah.
He's got so much different new things to talk about there.
Yeah. But so that's what's been purchased today. So if you know what that is, and if you're there if you are listening to this and you see me off on the meetup, say hello.
Buy him a pint.
Yeah, because you have to pay for them.
Me and Stuart went to that themed bar in City Walk.
Yeah,
the
Dead
Dead
Coconut.
Coconut.
Yeah, and it was shit.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
We walked in. We walked in. It was neon. There was fucking dance music playing. There was a huge queue at the bar, and we're 50.
It's a nightclub.
Yeah, it was hey, and it was like, do you want a drink? And we just looked at each other and we just went, nah. And we just turned round and walked out, because men of a certain age just like to sit and have a drink and sometimes not even speak, just be with each other. Just know that the other man is sitting next to you and you're there sharing a moment.
Rubbing each other's leg. Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful. Sorry. One bar.
Well, we went to the Coconut Club, me and Julie, on the Friday night, I think it was, just to get away from all the hustle and bustle. We went upstairs and then we ended up going on the balcony.
Hullabaloo.
Yeah, so we ended up going on the balcony and ended up turning into a good night, because we actually ran into, I can't remember which one it is, but one of the lads from Fair and Beer, and Duff from HHN 365.
I knew there was a 365 there. I don't forget.
And it was a good night, because we had a chat, we had a catch up, and then ended up meeting Duff again and a few others over at Matt's from Catacomba Halloween Horror Nights.
I'd be firing you if you worked at my bar, Craig.
Why?
That wasn't a good pour. Look at the outside of that head. That head is that is like the league points between Liverpool and Arsenal. It's massive.
So I think they've got it. I think they've got the right amount of the bars now. They've got the bars back.
Have they?
They've got the opportunity where you actually can buy other drinks rather than just the pre-mixed drinks or beer. You can actually get your own. You can get your whiskey and coke or vodka and coke, whatever you want.
You know, Minions area. You know they've got that cafe thing there where they do all the food. Where Minions, just in between Transformers there. Would that not be better as a bar where people can sit down, like Craig says, and just chill and have a drink? Because there's loads of food stalls all over the place.
We used to be able to do that because they actually do put a bar in the Transformers queue, and with it being Monsters Cafe, it used to be open. But now you can't go into Minions unless you've got a reservation. So if they got
you know the bit right behind Minions, where the tent is, and they
that's
where put the food court
there.
Yeah, but it's food as well. Just get rid of the food. Let's make it a sitting area.
Right, so it's just a bar.
If it's just a bar, we're going there this year.
Well, literally where the popcorn stand is, literally right behind that. That's one of the main bars.
No, it's not near the popcorn stand.
It's behind the popcorn stand, Minions in the corner. It's the old Transformers. It's a Transformers overflow queue.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, I think we're both. Craig's confused. I can tell.
Well, I'm just thinking. I'm going back in time to things I've done in Disney in the past. And one of the best events I've ever been to in my life was the Star Wars firework dessert party at Halloween Horror Nights. At Hollywood Studios. And it was in the area where you go and meet the Star Wars characters of a daytime, whatever that's called, something courtyard, isn't it? Where Disney Junior is and all that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you went in there, and it was obviously a ticketed event. There was a load of dessert to eat, unlimited, but then there was a bar. And each time you went to the bar, they had a menu, and they had 2 or 3 cocktails, I can't remember. Or you could walk away in your hand with 2 cocktails. So all I did for the entire dessert party was just get back in the queue. Double fisted. So I'd go back to the table, or everybody else was standing out. It was when we went with Coffin Carroll and Lord Fauntleroy in 2017. They stood with the table. The kids just went wild on the dessert party, and we were just drinking cocktails. And every time I put them on the table, I would go back and get in the queue, and I just went to the front and got another 2. And so, Universal are missing out on so much money just with these little upsell events that they could do, just in bits of the park that aren't used. Maybe Lombards is shut.
There's so many gaps now in the park at Halloween Horror Nights as well.
Turn Lombards into a paid dessert party where there's unlimited drinks. You can only walk away with 2 from the bar, so you can't just drink yourself to death. I got smashed. I ended up trying to get off with a stormtrooper.
So you can.
But I was staying on Disney property. It was fine. They then put you in a standing area, a reserved area where you could watch the fireworks. So they put you in a reserved area so you can watch the projection show or something like that.
You know what they could do with that Lombards as well? If they put screens in there, get cameras, night cameras in the houses, and watch people going through shit in their pants while you're just sitting there drinking and eating.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant idea. We bossed that.
I'll pay for that.
Yeah. Sounds like fun. Yeah. So, like I said, the event has massively changed since the first year I went. The first year I went was 2008, if you don't already know. And you had nurses walking around with blood bags.
God, I remember them.
You could literally go anywhere and drink. There was more bars there than there were actual houses, I think. There was hardly any food. It was mainly just drink. If they did have any food, I think it was just maybe hot dogs and pizzas, and that was really it.
I tell you what, food's another episode though, mate.
The thing is with them, the problem is then they had the mixed drinks, and there was literally 2 mixed drinks all around the whole park, and they were the same 2 mixed drinks. What I do like now is that they have the pre-mixed drinks and the mixed drinks are different at every single bar. It's not the same one, so you've got to go round to each different one. Because last year, I think I had about 8 or 9 different cocktails, and they're all from different bars. Yeah. And I enjoyed that because it gives you variety. If you don't like something else, you can try something. When it was before, it was just a 2. If you didn't like one, you tried the other. If you didn't like the other one, you just went back to beer. Excuse me, this IPA is definitely coming back. Anyway, but yeah, that's something that has changed, which I do like. But I think the blood bags need to start coming back. Put them in the queues. There's no reason why. And the way to get around it, to stop all the aggro, these underage drinkers are going to get it, is bring the pissing wristbands back. Because you used to do that. There used to be a stall. As you walked in, you had to give them photo ID. They check your date of birth, check your, whatever it was, your passport, your driving licence, which you can use a UK driving licence. Don't care what you say, American.
Not provisional.
But not provisional. If you've got a full UK licence, I've never used anything else as ID. And I've never had any issues. But I have got a big bushy beard, so that might actually go in my favour.
I'm just old, so it helps me.
Yeah. But they used to do a wristband that used to change colour every single night. So if you went on a Friday and you went back on the Saturday, you had to go back again to get a different coloured wristband. It was dated, I think, so you could see the date on it. And it did say, even though you've proved your ID, you will still be asked for ID again when you buy an alcoholic drink. This was for staff and the police. Because then there was a lot of police around. Now, there's not as many now, it's more security than police. But you walked around and if you've got a wristband on, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at if you've got a beer in your hand, they're looking whether you've got a wristband. So
yeah, so it works.
That I think needs to be brought back as well.
Do you know how I would change that wristband? Yeah, again, I'm going to do a Craigie. I'd make people pay for it, and on top of that, with that wristband, you get maybe a percentage off your drinks, or you get 2 free cocktails on that wristband to start with. Yeah, everything's electronic these days, so it's not like the olden days. You have a QR code on it, bing.
Yeah,
and that would be an incentive to get people to get the wristband.
Yeah.
You pay for the wristband. It's $30. For that $30, you get 2 drinks.
I'd rather it be free and you just queue up and get just a visual thing.
You get a QR code and it sorts something out there, and then maybe you don't need a different one every night because that QR code will be set to your passport, whatever thing it is, you individually for the whole event. Everything in Universal now, even when you walk through the doors now, the gates, it's all screened now, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe
it's so easy now.
I believe that you just walk through now. You don't have to scan your pass.
So if they do that wristband, they get the picture of your face. You QR, they look on their till, go, yeah, that's him. Bang, off you go.
At Disneyland, to get into Disneyland the other day, they had an iPhone So the cast members have an iPhone, and they scan your tickets with the iPhone. The first time you have entrance to the park, they take a photograph with the phone. So it tells them, it's the first time, get a photograph. And then every time after that you scanned in, they just looked at you. You've already, you match your photograph, and in you go. No touching things, no nothing. All that technology's gone. But that was Disneyland, not Walt Disney World. Fingerprints and all that shit. It's so fucking 1990s.
And that's the way Universal's gone. They've tried at Islands Adventure, and I know it's going to be epic.
Yeah, well, they've always started. They've been trialling it for a few years now, haven't they? So, because they've been trialling it on the express passes, and now they're trialling it on the actual entrances. So, because I believe it was Jackie went to Universal the other day, and she didn't do anything. She just walked straight through, and it went, you're good to go. So, imagine how quickly that would get people through at Halloween Horror Nights who haven't got a daytime ticket.
I always get in the queue with the family who's got the printed tickets
and then
in the wallet.
The
Yeah. And she's scanning them all one at a time, and the mother's kicking off on all the kids.
Yeah, it's too hot. They're ratty. The kids just want to go in and do the rides.
So, are you guys looking? If you are going this year, are you looking forward to the alcohol that's maybe coming this year? Or are you just going to do?
Just a quick one. I think some of the better alcohol drinks have been at the hotels.
Yeah,
the cocktails, especially the cocktails. They've had better cocktails, and I feel like they're great to have in the hotel, but bring them to the park as well. Because I fall in love with a cocktail in a hotel. I'd like to drink it at the event as well.
Yeah. So,
I'm not into the mixed drinks. I'm not into cocktails. I'm not into none of that shite.
They need more IPAs.
For me, fuck them all off.
Mate. If you look, there's actually a lot of IPAs. It's just that they are hidden on the menus.
Yeah. I love a good pint, a good IPA, a Modelo, a pint of Modelo on draft, a Blue Moon on draft. There's me, I'm sold. But then stick me on any sort of limited edition IPA. We all love the Duff beer. Duff beer is probably, Simon will know, probably just an IPA from somewhere else, or a local.
No, it's a local brewery that actually do the Duff beers, and they do the Dufftoberfest on top. Yeah, they are local. The Duff Light and Duff Regular are actually from a local brewery, and then they just do the Dufftoberfest. It's their version of it.
So are they actual? That is Duff, or is it just with a sticker on it?
I think
another beer.
Fame and Beer will be able to point us out on this, but I'm sure it's Florida State Brewery, I think they're called.
Yeah, I think you're
right. And they are local to Orlando, I think. It's a name that I've heard
before. Which is brilliant. And tangent and all that, and it's not the podcast for it because this is Halloween Odd Nights, but I'm hoping there's some good drinking in Epic. Some epic drinking in Epic.
There's going to be a special IPA from Universal's
that's
Dark
done by a local brewery as well.
Yeah.
So,
it's only part
if you like your local breweries, there's plenty of local breweries actually in Orlando itself. I've still not actually been to any of them yet. I need to actually get myself to them. I can't. I'll have to do in September. But yeah, guys, I think we've exhausted our alcoholic knowledge.
There's not really much wrong with Halloween Horror Nights. They can just improve and make more money, is what we're basically saying.
Yeah.
I think they found a nice happy medium now between what they used to have. Then that year they had hardly anything a few years ago, and then now they're bringing it back a little bit. So I think they found a nice.
It's just so much of a money maker for them, isn't it? The markup on the ale.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I went to a wedding in a castle in Scotland a few years ago, like Dumfries, and it was a lovely wedding, whatever. But the night time, it didn't have a licensed bar. It did, but it didn't have a bar. It was a castle, so they had decorating tables with fucking paper and all that on it. And one of the things that burst my bubble and boiled my piss, right, was when the night time of the wedding was starting to kick off, they walked in, the barmaids and the barman walked in with boxes and boxes of ale that they bought 3 for 2 from Asda.
That's enough.
Right? 3 for 2 with the tape on it. 3 for 2, 3 for 2, 3 for 2. Crates and crates and crates of warm ale, right? Warm lager, that had come from Asda.
Craig.
And
Craig.
what?
People, we're about to run out of this episode. We're going to be doing another episode on the spec maps. If you want to hear the rest of Craig's story, you're going to have to watch the next and listen to the next episode.
Next one.
Simon, kill it off.
Yeah, so with that, guys, follow us on all our socials at Halloween Horror Events Podcast. You'll search it in or at HHE Pod 1 on TikTok and at HHE Pod on all other socials. So with that, guys, we will see you in the very next episode. So from Mr. Epic Phill.
See your nightmares and stay epic.
Craig, do you have a catchphrase?
For Halloween Horror Nights.
For anything. Just say whatever you feel.
Stick it up your ass.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So, as seeing as Joe's not here, and we've only just gone to mention him at the end of the episode. Sorry, Joe. What is it? Something and sweet screams.
Wrap it up. Good night and sweet screams.
Yeah, good night and sweet screams.
It's a good. And Simon doesn't ever remember. That's why he's not doing it.
I don't know.
Right,
Don't get too drunk at Halloween Horror Nights. Drink responsibly.